If you feel the need to fit into a box or a category, archetype, or group, are you ever really free? Like after watching someone in a reel talk about like how not having structure isn't really freedom, it dawned on me that malicious information can take many visual forms, and so it sparked my imagination. I'm starting to realize you really can't just trust people because they look and sound like they're from a group you usually trust. And I'm like, welcome to the internet. Something I followed on and off in the past is spirituality, and wow, I was like, yeah, like over time, I've realized it's just all categorical boxing of data. Like data being our interests, our personalities, consciousness, subconscious, like it's all just packaged up quite nicely and put into a box so we feel as though we fit into something. And I see it all the time. It's like I'm a whatever archetype or personality trait, and I used to be so down with it, like, yay, that's like so much fun, like, and then I really believed it as well. And I used to like that stuff until I come to realize all it does is contain you into whatever you've been allocated, and then that's that. And like, yeah, I know, like at some point, even for this video, like a category is required, like tags and allocations, which in turn create boundaries for said data, aka the video. But to do this to ourselves, to fit into boxes others have created so they can sell us stuff, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm down with that. Like something about it just doesn't ring right for me anymore. It used to. But now I'm just like, I don't think so. Like, I'm just like, no thanks. I don't want your archetype course about whether I'm a queen or a sage or whatever. Like, that other BS. Like, you're just trying to sell me. I'm like, I just don't fancy it anymore. Like, I'm just like, swerve that, thank you. And in the same way, like, I don't want or need a dating course so you can tell me how to behave. Either people like you or they don't. Like, and surely it's just better to be okay with that, really, isn't it? If they don't like you, like that's fine, and if they do like you, that's fine. Like if you don't think you need to change, that's fine, and if you think you need to change, then again, that's fine. But like that's up to the individual, surely. So like, no, I don't need to be contained by someone else's belief structure or follow someone else's boundaries to create a happy life for myself. The light bulb moment, that happened for me when I realized how deeply unhappy I was with constant structured routine. Like I had way over structured things. Like how constantly following rather than leading myself was making me really effing depressed. Like seriously depressed. Like in a world where following is heavily encouraged, like it dawned on me like, when did I stop listening to myself? Like when did that happen? It must have just been like a slow erosion that I didn't really notice. Like when did I stop following myself? I really did wonder. So I'm not saying to not follow other people at all, but for me the balance needs to drastically shift. So I'm going to go into what action I took. So where I could, I allowed daily routines and weekly structures to fall. Yeah, I know, right? Like I can hear you gasping, crying out, going, no, no, don't do that. Like, what will you do? But hear me out on this. It worked. And again, this part, it like goes against the grain. But as my comfort and my happiness levels increased, so did my creativity. I know that's not what you usually hear out there in the grit and grind side of things, which is fine. Grit and grind is fine sometimes. I do it occasionally. But creativity is the source of how your life looks. So structure was literally crushing my creativity. I've pretty much allowed most things to fall into free flow. Most, not all. There is still some light, flexible structure because there needs to be, but it's like laced in, you know. So how did I do it? Create one singular purpose, one and one only. There can be offshoots and connections to it, so to speak, like to and from other things, but they are not the purpose. They are what you will now see as structure. And creating purpose first naturally created structure for me, and I'd never done it that way before, and I was like, actually this is pretty cool and it's working. When it was the other way around, I found it crushed pretty much any creativity I had. I had created far too many boundaries, far too much structure, and yeah, like everything was just imploding in on itself and everything was being destroyed by too much structure. And my example is health. Everything must revolve around my health. Like, if I'm not healthy, how am I supposed to enjoy creating music? Like, if I'm not healthy, like, how am I supposed to enjoy healthy relationships with other people? And I'm just like, So you can apply this principle to pretty much everything and anything you like. If you can let go of needing to fit into a box for other people, you can lead yourself by finding one purpose which will lead you for your entire lifetime. Okay, you just need one. I chose health because that's the thing that'll be here from now until I'm not. So some people will still find a purpose, which includes following something external to them. Others will realize everything they need is inside. Everyone's different. Like, there isn't like a set way to do things. So I wonder who you'll become. Bye.